Word problems related to simultaneous linear equations. Question number 6. Form a pair of simultaneous equations for each situation and use them to solve the problem. So in this question, we need to have two sort of things that we need to do. That means forming an equation and then solving the equation using any of the appropriate methods, whether we can use the elimination method or the substitution method to solve the equations that we would be forming. Okay, uh, let the unknown numbers be x and y. Let me solve part A. The sum of two numbers is 120 and one of the numbers is 3 times the other. The trick is that uh, where the comparison is given, we would be supposing the quantity as a comparison of which the other quantity is given. So in this case, let the numbers be x and y. Then, according to the given condition, the sum of these two numbers is 120. That means x plus y equals to 120. So we have formed one of the two equations from the given condition. And now this is the second condition. One of the numbers is 3 times the other. So we can suppose that y is equal to 3 times of the first number x, and that would be our equation number 2. Or equivalently, we can also suppose this thing that the variable x is 3 times the variable y. So that could serve as equation number 2 as well. So this condition is applicable in both of these senses. We need to find out the value of the numbers x and y, obviously. So let me take this first form of equation number 2. We can see now that the variable y has been expressed in terms of the variable x, or we can say that y has been made the subject. So in this type of questions, the substitution method is more appropriate to perform. So let me solve these equations by the substitution method. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to substitute or replace the value of variable y in the other equation at this place. So it is going to be x would be the same, then plus at the place of the variable y, I'm going to replace this value 3x and on the right side I've got the same number which is 120. So this is it. So now this equation has been transformed into just one variable. So it is easy to solve this equation now. Adding 1x and 3x, we get 4x is equal to 120 and x equals to 120 divided by 4, that is 30. That means one of the two numbers is 30. And to find out the value of the other number, what I'm going to do, I'm going to replace this value of x in this second equation. So y will be equal to 3 times x. That means 3 times this value 30, because the value of x that we have calculated is 30. Simplifying it, we get 90. Y is equal to 90. That means one of the numbers x is 30 and the other number y is 90. Now you can see that these two values fulfill these two given conditions, that sum of the numbers is 120. That was this condition. The sum of the two numbers is 120. And since we know that we can have different numbers whose sum is 120, like for example we can have 119 plus 1 equals to 120, 0 plus 120 equals to 120, 118 plus 2, that is equal to 120. But we need to fulfill the other condition as well. The other condition was one of the number is 3 times the other. So that lets us to vanish all the other possibilities of the numbers. So these two numbers serve that second condition as well. That means 90, if this is the second number, that is obviously 3 times the first number, that is 3 times 30. So yes, the two required numbers which fulfill both of the given conditions are 30 and 90. The numbers are 30 and 90. So that completes solution to part A. Uh, as I was just telling you that we could have taken the second equation as x equals to 3 times y. This is the reason actually, because one of the two numbers is 3 times the other. There is no uh, differentiation that which of the two numbers has to be 3 times the other number. So we can have y as 3 times of the variable x, or we can have x as 3 times the variable y. So now if I substitute or take this second equation to be x equals to 3y, then equation number 1, which is x plus y is equal to 120, that would give us the result that at the place of x, now I'm going to replace 3y, and this y would be the same, is equal to 120. This is again 4y is equal to 120. And this time the variable y has become uh, 30. So variable x would become obviously 3 times y, that is 3 times 30, that is 90. So now only their names have been replaced. Previously x was 30 and y was 90. Now in this case y is 30 and x is 90. Since we do not require to name those values or those numbers, we are just interested in having those two numbers which fulfill these two given conditions. So the numbers are again 30 and 90. So this is what we need to take care into. Now we proceed to part B. The sum of two numbers is negative 34. So again, let the numbers be x and y, and it is given that the sum of the numbers x plus y is equal to negative 34, and the difference is 5. So x minus y is equal to 5. There could be a question arising like this, that how we come to know that x is greater than y, that because we are subtracting y from x to have their difference to be 5. We can also have y minus x is equal to 5. So since there is no information as which of these variables x or y is greater. So we can have the answer in both the ways as we discussed in part A. So let me solve it in this sense. Now we need to add both of these equations. Adding them together, positive y gets cancelled out with negative y, and positive x plus x, that is 2x, and negative 34 plus y plus 5 is negative 29. So the value of x is negative 29 by 2, that is negative 14.5. The value of x is this. Now we can replace this value in either of the two equations, either in equation number 1 or in equation number 2. So I'm going to replace it in equation number 2 because I can see that the constant term of equation number 2 is 5, which is uh, without considering the sign is lesser than 34. So that makes it easy for me to solve it. So x minus y is equal to 5. At the value of x, I'm going to replace its value, negative 14.5 minus y is equal to 5. So negative 14.5 minus 5, when I shift this 5 to this side and shifting this negative y to the other side, that would make it positive. So this is negative 19.5, which is the value of y. So the two numbers in this case are negative 14.5 and negative 19.5. That completes this question. Now it is part C. The pair of numbers has a sum of 52 and a difference of 11. Find the numbers. So it is exactly on the same pattern. X plus y is 52 and x minus y. Okay, let me do it the other way around. Y minus x is equal to 11. Now, again, I need to add these equations. So, plus x and negative x gets cancelled out this time. So, y plus y is 2y, and this is 63 on the right side. So, the value of y in this case is 63 by 2, which is 31.5. Now, I'm going to replace this equation in any of these equations. Let me replace it in second equation because its constant term is lesser than 52. So uh, put in equation number 2, since this was equation number 2 and this was equation number 1. So that is y minus x is equal to 11. So this is 31.5 minus x is equal to 11. Now let me shift this here and this here. 31.5 minus 11 is equal to positive x. So this will give us 20.5. That is the value of x. So the two numbers are 20.5 and 31.5. That completes part C. It's part D now. The combined ages of two people is 34. If one person is 6 years younger than the other, find their ages. We can have that let the age of one person be x and the age of other person be y. So when we combine their ages, we add their ages, the answer is 34. Okay. Now, if one person is 6 years younger than the other, let the person having age y is uh, written like this. This means that the person with age Y is 6 years younger than the person with age X, because when you will add 6 more years in the age of person Y, now the age of that person would become equal to the age of the person X. So since this was younger, or his age was lesser, so that's why we added 6 into that to have an equality between their ages. So the second equation is like this. So now this leads me to solve it using the substitution method. I can use the value of x in the equation number 1. So y plus 6 at this place, then plus y is equal to 34. Now y plus y is 2y, and let me shift this 6 to that side. 34 minus 6, which is 28. The value of y is 14. Replacing this value here, I get 14 plus 6 is equal to x, that is 20 years. So age of one person is 20 years and the age of the other person is 14 years. That completes this part D as well.